The DGA Awards are held this year at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. This award show is one of the most important ones because it is voted on by their peers. Directors yell, "Cut!" and then they tell you when the cameras roll. And they want to make sure that you get all the emotion, all the grit, and the full story. We are going to talk to some of the world's best directors tonight before they hit the stage to receive awards that are near and dear to their hearts. I love the little games that you play. How much behind the scenes are you involved in that? Because the games are hilarious. You bring back stuff that are like memory unlocked for me sometimes, and I'm just like, wait a second, this is so creative.
Yeah, I gotta say, we have an amazing writers' room led by Joe Firestone, who's a genius, and the amount of games that they come up with astounds me. I cannot believe how many different games they have come up with in the last year of our show, because I thought we'd find like 9 or 10 and just keep cycling through those. And we do replay games, but they come up with new ones every single day. It's incredible.
One of my favorites, I have to say, is when y'all had to match the mugs to the people.
Oh, yeah. I collect mugs, so I was really excited about that. That wasn't even my idea, but I was like, how many do you want me to bring in? I can bring in like 30 if you want. I was ready.
And you're about to kick off your tour. Tell us about the tour.
Yeah, I'm fully on tour right now. Save Me Tour, TaylorTomlinsonComedy.com for tickets. And we're doing Chicago. We're doing 5 shows at the Chicago Theater next week. A couple weeks from now, we're doing 6 at the Wang Theater in Boston. I was just in Toronto at Meridian Hall. And I'm really excited about it. It's like probably the most personal material I've ever done. And it's been really fun. I've been doing it since like October, this theater tour. So
now the decision to make it from a first person point of view, that's a daring decision, but tell us the concept behind that and why that was very important to do it that way.
Yeah, I think the initial drive comes from my filmmaking practice and my art practice. Like, I made another film that was point of view, but my hands weren't in it, and thinking about the way in which cinema has always been sort of authored by the white gaze, one could say. I always wonder, like, what does an explicitly authored black subjective image look like? Like, how do you ensure that someone knows it's coming from a single point perspective, and that single point perspective is one that is a person of color, and what that adds to cinematic language, which quite often either others us or erases us.
Now, I must ask, because I know everyone wants to talk to you tonight, you get on stage, you win that award. Who's the first person you think?
It should be my father and my parents. But I think it'd be the producers, really, for putting the money, the effort, and spirit behind the project, right? Like, to fund this thing is not an easy choice, because what you guys saw is what was pitched. So, like, kudos on them for doing the thing that I thought that producers didn't really do in studios, which was, like, take risk on people who had ideas that could easily fail.
And how do you feel being nominated this evening?
I'm so excited to be nominated. And the DGA award has always been my favorite award because everyone who votes for it knows how hard it is to make anything.
Well, we know that you are here tonight for the Spiderwood Chronicles, but you are also involved in one of my favorite shows, Matlock. Let's talk about it.
So I directed the pilot and executive produced the show, and I actually directed 9 of the episodes this season. I am obsessed with Matlock and with Miss Kathy Bates.
Quick question, most important questions to me. You win tonight. Who's the first person you think?
My grandmother. She taught me to believe in fairies, and it really is what brought me to the Spiderwick Chronicles.
Thank you. Congratulations on the nomination. How does it feel?
It feels really crazy. I think that this is a story that has been hidden and obscured for over a century, and the community had an incredible amount of courage to tell it, and we were so grateful to be part of getting to help share it, and now we're honored amongst our peers, and what is more, incredible than that?
This industry was built in large part on portraying Native people as a dying people. Hollywood was built on stories about cowboys and Indians, where Indians were often dying at the end of a fake gun. And, documentary, the art form that we practice, it is complicit also in that history. Some of the first documentaries ever made portrayed Native people as having a dying way of life. And our film is a direct refutation of that history and the policies that tried to make it so in reality, to make it so in Native families. The film follows an investigation into abuse and missing children at an Indian residential school that my family was sent to. And so to be here to celebrate that film and to be part of, correcting the record is just amazing.
with this win, you get called there, you get the win. What would it mean to put that type of spotlight on this film? How would that help amplify this message that needs to get out?
It's so easy in the news cycle in the world for us to put something into a box to say this is a foreign conflict or we already know what's happening because of the news. That's only part of the story, a critical and important part, but we need to view things three-dimensionally and to see what's happening in Ukraine through the eyes of those people that we might have so much more in common with than we ever suspected, I think is a huge opportunity. A win here would mean everything to the people of Ukraine and people all around the world who care about freedom of expression and democracy.
War is very dark subject for movie, but we were never focused on devastation, on violence. We were focused on culture as way of our resistance and as source of our resilience.
Sweet Tooth. It is so good. My niece turned me on to it because I was like, children's programming, I'm that auntie. Tell those who don't know about Sweet Tooth what it's about.
It's the story of a young boy 10 years after the world has been wiped out. He's part boy, he's part deer, and he lives in a world where children are hybrid, part animal, part human. And it's really him trekking through what's left of America looking for his mom.
It is. It opens up your mind to a lot more, especially in a time where, we don't want to get too political, but we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We can get political. So this children's story is so important. So you do feel the same, correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And there are a lot of things that I'm very proud. We wrapped the show, a year and a half ago. So I've been I've been kind of coming down from it, but especially the time that we're in now. I'm so glad we did some of the things that we did, and I'm glad that we, sort of got that story out to the world. I don't think it was a preachy show, but I do think it was about, acceptance and human beings being better and living up to the standard of what humanity is supposed to be, and, and how kids can be the next generation of that, and they can sort of inspire that. And so, there was a lot of things that we were doing in the show that, were natural to the story, but I think were also good messages to put out in the world, especially now.
Okay, this is the important question for everyone. You get on stage, you win that award. Who's the first person you think?
My wife, my lovely wife, is over there. Is my producing partner. So we've been through this. We've been through this adventure every day together for how many years now? But yeah, she's my other half. So yes, Linda.
I completely agree. And also being very special is Out of Mind. I want to say that, especially with times like this, we're not going to get too political because we don't want to get on everyone's face, but the message behind the show is about perseverance and inclusion. So tell us why Out of Mind is so important in this current climate in today's.
I think it's crucial that we recognize that 30% of the United States identifies already as having a disability. So that's the largest minority in the United States. And most people at some point in their life will have a disability if they live long enough. So I think the more we recognize that disability is not them versus us, it's not normal versus not normal, like it's all of us, there is no such thing as normal. The more we recognize that and cultivate in ourselves the ability to look at somebody who looks different, talks differently, moves differently, is different from us, the more we look at them in a way that, and we think, wow, what are our similarities rather than our differences? How can I broach a connection with that person? Then the better off we'll be.